Hello, I'm Doug, and welcome to the Crew of Japan podcast, a weekly podcast where we take you on audio journeys through Japanese culture.
This time on Crew of Japan podcast.
Welcome back to our podcast. Today, we've got a truly global episode for you because we're diving into one of the most anticipated international events of the year, Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan. By the time you're listening to this, Japan will have already taken center stage as the Expo kicked off on April 13th, 2025. However, before all the festivities began, the crew had the pleasure to sit down with Sachiko Yoshimura, the Director General Extraordinary of Public Relations and Promotion Bureau of the Japan Association for the 2025 World Exposition. Yes, that is a very long title, but trust me, this interview is packed. Just like that title, packed with energy, insight, and inspiration. With Yoshimura-san as our guide, we managed to get a small peek behind the Expo's curtain. Throughout today's episode, we're going to explore massive efforts that have gone into preparing for Expo 2025. From the infrastructure, including the Grand Ring, and theme planning, to how Japan is embracing sustainability and innovation on a global scale. We're also going to take a step back in time and look at Japan's rich history with World Expositions. How past events shaped not only the country, but also the international view of Japanese culture and technology. And of course, who doesn't like mascot talk? We have to talk about the character that has become the face of the Expo, Myaku-Myaku. And no, as you'll find out later on, those aren't eyeballs. These topics are only the tip of the iceberg that we will uncover today, as Yoshimura-san provides so much info, fun facts, and excitement to really put some great context around all things Expo 2025. So grab your passport because we're going global with Osaka. Let's go. Are you new to the crew? Yokoso! We hope you enjoy this episode. If you like what you hear today, then you'll really love our back catalog of episodes from earlier this season and previous seasons. We've had some incredible guests, like Joy Jarman-Walsh of Seek Sustainable Japan podcast visiting Hiroshima, Rob Dyer of The Real Japan hanging out in Hyogo, YouTuber Shinichi Mine of Tabi Eats revealing Japan's best ramen, and so much more. After you finish up this episode, hit that subscribe button or follow or whatever it is, and get notified when new episodes come out. Then while you wait for the new episode to drop, play catch up with the crew. But before you do any of that, let's dive into today's episode. All right, Jennifer, we're back again with another interview, and this time we are going to be we're not looking at much. It's an audio podcast. No video stimulus here.
Nice save, Doug. We're going to be talking about...
Thank you. We're going to be talking about Expo 2025 in Osaka, which at the time of recording has not started yet. But by the time this episode comes out, it should be maybe 2 or 3 weeks into the actual Expo itself. So we wanted to bring along someone who knew a lot about the Expo and everything going on and going into it. And with us today, we have Miss Sachiko Yoshimura, who is the Director General Extraordinary of Public Relations and Promotion Bureau with the Japan Association of the 2025 World Exposition. Whew. All right, there we go. I did it. Took a second. I got it.
Mouthful.
So, Sachiko, welcome to the Crew of Japan podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's a really great pleasure to talk about the Expo 2025. Actually, from today, we only have around 2 weeks. So thank you for having me at this really great timing. Thank you.
That's right. 2 weeks,
How
right?
exciting.
So I know all this hard work going and building up into it. I know y'all are ready. Yeah, ready to get started. Before we go a little bit further into the Expo itself, one question we ask a lot of our guests, because we are based in New Orleans, we ask our guests if they have any connection to New Orleans. If you've been to New Orleans before, or maybe you haven't, what is something that you think of when you hear New Orleans?
Actually, I have been into New Orleans.
Okay.
It was it was around 2014 or 15, so it's a long time ago.
Okay.
However, I was there for a business trip. Right now, I'm working for the Expo 2025, but I'm originally from JETRO. It's a half-governmental association, Japan External Trade Organization. And so what I was doing there was like promote trade and investment between Japan and the US. So at that time, there was a trade fair called WEFTEC, and I was there because the WEFTEC is the kind of business event and convention for water quality and environment sustainability. So I had like 10 small and medium Japanese companies trying to promote about their techniques of water solutions and sustainability. Of course, the business was a really interesting event, but also the private, I had a very nice time besides business. I remember having my first gumbo stew there,
Okay.
Nice.
very delicious with oysters and shrimps for dinner.
Wow.
Yes, and also, of course, as that was the first time I went there, so I have to go to the French Quarter
Of
and
course.
walking around Bourbon Street, having some great bourbon and getting into the jazz bar. So I really have a nice and really exciting memory going to New Orleans.
That
Well, that's
sounds
great.
nice.
Yeah, it sounds like a good trip, a good business trip, right? A good business trip where
Yes,
you get
yes.
to enjoy yourself outside of work is always nice.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
I was there for 4 days, but I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you
Mhm.
ever make it back.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I'd really
Always
love to.
contact us.
Okay.
Well, to get things started, for people who may not be familiar, can you give us like a brief overview of what they can expect of Expo 2025? And is this the first expo in Japan?
Yes, I'd love to talk about the Expo 2025. So it will be held from April 13th to October 13th for 6 months. The location will be in an artificial island in Osaka area. The island is called Umeshima. Yume means dream in Japan, so it's a kind of dream island for everybody to experience the expo. And it's inside the kind of waterfront of Osaka. Actually, maybe some of you are not familiar with the Kansai area of Japan, but you can travel from Tokyo by the Shinkansen, the bullet train, for 2 hours to come to Osaka. And also, when you come to Osaka, there is Kyoto, Nara, the ancient capital cities of Japan. And so we'd love to have you at the expo site, but also recommend you to come to the Kansai area and enjoy Japan as well, because there's many lovely cuisines and entertainment. So that's one point that I always talk about when I talk about Osaka. Going back to the theme of the Expo 2025, the theme is the Designing Future Society for Our Lives. So it will be the kind of first expo that will be focusing at life itself. Also, the concept will be People's Living Lab, a laboratory for the future society. Besides Japan, we have 158 countries and regions and 7 international organizations that are participating at this expo. So that means the whole world will come together and discuss the importance of life. So when we refer to life, it's not just a human being's life, but also all creatures in the earth and the earth is itself. At this moment, because we are doing this expo just after the COVID-19, the last expo was actually the Dubai Expo in UAE. Unfortunately, they had to postpone it for a year because of the COVID-19. So actually, it will be the first expo after the pandemics. So I think the theme thinking about life is really more important, maybe because we all know how we suffered at this really tragic pandemics. All these countries, we would like to actually come together. Of course, right now we have internet, and so we can enjoy everything and maybe do business through the internet. But I think the important thing is everybody coming together in real life, thinking about our lives and thinking about the future. We would like the expo be the kind of place that will provide people that kind of platform thinking about the importance of life. It is not the first time doing an expo in Osaka. The first ever expo in Japan was in 1970, 55 years ago. Actually, it was in Osaka, and so we're having it again in Osaka after 55 years. Like 55 years ago, just want to point out that it was just when Japan was really, the economy was trying to grow. And so many Japanese ordinary people wasn't traveling outside Japan. So it was the first time actually to see a non-Japanese person at the expo. And it was a really exciting experience for many of the senior citizens right now in Japan, experiencing the world and seeing the future. So it's 55 years since the first time Expo. And also, I think Japan loves Expo, so we have been doing a one in 2005 in Aichi area. So 20 years since then. I think the Japanese are really fond of expeditions, but I think it's the first time for many of the younger generations to experience Expo. So we are really excited to have this Expo happening at Osaka. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah,
all.
no, these are important things that we need to know about.
Yeah, and also, I mean, how many countries was it again?
Yes, 158
58. I
countries.
was I was off a
Mhm,
little bit by
yeah.
20.
But when it was in 1970, there was 77 countries. So we are so
Oh wow.
excited to have a
Wow, yeah, big boost.
big number of countries coming together. So we're so excited.
That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. And what would you say is the main goal for Expo
Mhm.
2025 and the impact you hope it will have, not only both during the event, but also in the long term?
Since the theme itself is thinking about lives, I think what we are aiming at is also thinking about the future. And as many of you may know, Japan is maybe in a way leading country for the aging population. We definitely have to think about the future, how we could have our lives lively. Of course, like the medical technologies is expanding, and so that is important thing as well. That is why we're having the concept of the laboratory. We are trying to showcase many of the technologies and services, thinking how life would be better for us. So that's something that we would like to show. Maybe I can talk about some of the details later, but basically, we'd like to showcase the technology and services right now and also thinking about the future. Having said that, I think one of the main things also is thinking about sustainability. Actually, the expo site itself after the expo has been will be ending this October, we will have to give this island back to the Osaka prefecture with basically nothing on their site. So when we are planning this expo, we are thinking about sustainability. So all the pavilions are thinking about how to make reuse of all the pavilions, construction things. So I think one thing is thinking about sustainability. All the pavilions are using recycled things and also thinking about because we don't want to waste anything. We have this really kind of high huddle for thinking about the future, having the sustainability. 2030 will be the goal for the SDGs. So we think that the expo will be, of course, an experiment not just about the 6 months enjoying as a kind of festival, but we want after the expo, everybody thinking about lives and sustainability. That will not end within the 6 months, but will continue in Japan. And not only Japan, but the whole world, and really hope that when the younger people who attended this expo will later think, oh, that was the expo, thinking about sustainability and about the importance of life. And that expo really made this future much better for us. So that's something that, well, ideally, we'd like to have for the expo.
Yeah, and I was actually wondering about that with everything. I know
Mhm,
that there was a lot of new construction
mhm,
for the island and for all the pavilions and everything like. So I was curious what was going into it and what was going to happen after,
mhm,
because I know with a lot of big festivals like Olympics and
mhm,
things like that, where there are things
mhm,
built specifically for those events. What
mhm.
is the after, I don't want to say aftermath, but what is going to happen with those buildings and those facilities after the event ends? And it sounds like you said, using recyclable materials and construction materials that work towards sustainable goals is like the importance and the
Yeah.
highlight of planning for this event.
Yes, so from the first time, everybody is thinking of how to reuse their construction pavilions. Maybe some of the pavilions, maybe talking with the sister cities of Japan, might like reconstruct it in some cities, but otherwise, like every pavilion is thinking after the 6 months, we're going to use this construction site to use for maybe furniture or use to certain things. So everybody is planning just what happens after.
That's great.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah,
So it is challenging for everybody because, of
sure.
course, thinking about sustainability is very important, but also it takes time and it's costly. But it's a timing that we should really think about the importance of how to be sustainable. maybe for the first expo in 1851 in London, Crystal Palace were there. For the Paris Eiffel Tower was there for the expo, after the expo. But I think this time in this new age, we have to think about not just having living construction as it is, but also thinking about reusing and making one thing maybe reused after the expo or used after anything. So it's very challenging, but I think it's a really good time for everybody in the world to think about the importance of like sustainability.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you had mentioned, in addition to these countries that were coming and working in these pavilions and hosting events and whatnot, you're also going to have international trade organizations and businesses that are going to be coming to Osaka as part of this expo event. So, what are some of the expectations for businesses at the expo? How do you see both the companies from Japan, but also from around the world benefiting from their participation?
Of course, Expo is like connecting in cultural side, but I think the very important thing is like visitors. We expect like 28 million people coming all together. So I think the very important that we have business at the site. Actually, we have a project called the Theme Week. That is a program that we are having. Of course, the concept is thinking about the future experiment, and the theme is about life. But also, we are having like theme weeks. Every other week, we'll have a theme. Say this week is like healthcare week, and then like every pavilion will focus on about healthcare. I've already heard many plans that many countries are sending a kind of business mission of like healthcare business at that timing. And that would be great for also Japan, but all the countries coming together at the site. Actually, there will be conventions outside the expo, but that means everybody is gathering together and thinking about the future and how we could change the future in a better way. So there will be many Japanese small and medium-sized companies waiting for all the international partners, well, maybe countries that will be partners to start business. So there will be at the theme week many matchmaking business events. If you check our website, you can see some of the plans. So maybe if you're planning to come to Expo, of course, for to enjoy it, but also if you're thinking about business as well, you should check the theme week and see the events. The Expo in 2020 in Dubai, they did the same, focusing on the theme week, and that was a very successful program. That's why Japan is doing that as well. Of course, we have trade fairs talking about WEFTEC, but like it's specialty trade fairs all around the world. But this is important because for 6 months, all the industries coming together. So we definitely would like to have business people also using this opportunity to have their business flourishing as well.
Okay. So the theme weeks for those, is it only for the businesses, or should visitors also attending the expo? Is that something that every week will have something different to expect, and opportunities are going to vary week to week?
That's really interesting for people who are trying to like maybe further careers as well. Maybe they can make connections while they're at the expo.
Yes, because we think for in the Japanese side, the Osaka area is has many small and medium-sized companies and also startups. So I think the Osaka Prefecture and Kansai Prefecture are really being excited about it. But I've heard that there's many missions from all countries, not just big business like companies, but also startups coming as well. So I think it'll really be an opportunity for new business as well.
That's
That's
awesome. So
awesome.
anyone listening planning on going to the expo, bring your business cards.
Yes, please.
Yes.
So for the visitors, we have theme weeks, and businesses are
Mhm,
going to have, like you said, trade fairs and whatnot. But what are some of the things that,
mhm,
just your regular average Joe tourist might experience while there? And now we follow you guys,
mhm,
or the Expo's official account on Instagram, and I
mhm.
saw a really awesome video this morning about the Gundam and the
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
whole facility that's going to be opening up. Looked really,
Mhm,
really, really cool. What other kind
mhm.
of attractions are there going to be at this event where visitors can kind of plan around seeing some of these things?
Oh, yes, thank you for that question. One thing, it's actually at the site, there would be a really large wooden, we call it the grand ring. Actually, the branding is all made of wood, and it is we had the record of Guinness saying that it's the largest construction made of wood. The ring itself is all made by wood, and so it is using old Japanese traditional construction way, trying not to use nails so you can recycle the wood. And so you can see this beautiful constructor of wood, and actually the circumference is about 2 kilometers. So actually you could walk all around the ring. And so you can see the expo itself because the height is like 2 meters. So you can see the expo side, but also because it's a artificial island surrounded by the ocean, you can see the beautiful view. So one thing we recommend is when you come, maybe you can climb the ring and actually walk around so you can see the whole expo site and see, which pavilion you like to go. Also, you mentioned Gundam. So, of course, Japan has a pop culture, like subculture of like manga and everything. And so there are events. Of course, the pavilion we have Gundam. We have that as well. But also there'll be events every day. If you check the event calendars, there are some events concerning like manga or cartoons, everything as well. But also for cultural side, we are showcasing a kind of future society. So that's something on more technology side, but also the traditional Japanese culture as well. There'll be Matsuri, a Japanese festival for not only Kansai area, but all areas from Japan. So it's like kind of a dancing experience all together. That'll be interesting. There's a sumo event as well, so you can see the sumo wrestlers doing their event there. So it's a kind of mixture of future and ancient Japan. Also, for maybe you could enjoy walking around, seeing many pavilions that are very interesting in construction, but also you could enjoy many Japanese cuisines. Of course, we have some large restaurants. We have sushi as well. Some of the companies are exploding this really long kind of merry-go-round of like sushis going around and like belt conveyor. We call it kaiten sushi in Japan, but it's like sushi companies that are showing this kind of special sushi for like for the expo for enjoying many countries, images of cuisines that are from each countries. But also because there's 158 countries, you can enjoy international food as well. And also there's many concerts. Some of the pavilions are doing concerts every day, classical music, but also Japanese traditional music. And so, there's so many things that you could enjoy. I just focused on the fun side. So maybe if you can come there, you can enjoy yourselves at seeing cultural things, but also futuristic things. So there's so many things that we'd like to introduce. So when you come, maybe at the information desk, we're showing up, maybe this will be the cost to go. If you have an interest, ask us, and then we'll recommend some of the pavilions or something to do there. If you're coming for one day, I think you can only see maybe 2 or 3 pavilions because each pavilion has all these concepts and very interesting things to show. So we recommend maybe at least come for 2 days, or maybe if you have more time, maybe you could have some passes that has a kind of passport pass, so you can come every day, of course. But
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. I was about to say, I'm so glad you mentioned it because I was about to say, I don't think you could do that in one day. Like, that's
yeah.
so much. So, yeah, it's almost like a vacation for your vacation. You have to plan for your time at the expo. That's
Mhm,
awesome that
mhm.
there's so much going on.
Yeah, so it's like from open from 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the evening.
Oh,
So
wow.
of course you
Okay.
can enjoy it in the morning, but also in the evenings we're going to have like lightnings and bonfires and so exciting things going on. So you can enjoy
Cool.
the evening, but also go around the pavilions. Sorry, I'm getting excited myself, talking too much.
Yeah, no problem. It almost sounds like, I mean, if I were to travel and do that, it almost sounds like I would want to maybe station myself in Osaka. And if
Mhm,
I want to go like explore other areas, I could, but like make
mhm.
Osaka almost my like home base for my stay. And that kind of brings me to my next question for you, which is
Okay. Mhm,
how is the city of Osaka preparing for the
mhm,
expo? Have you
mhm.
seen a shift in the atmosphere or energy in the city as like the event approaches? Because you are only 2 weeks away.
Yes, we are working closely with the Osaka Prefecture of the city. also in the sense of like tourism department, because they are really keen on having many international visitors coming. Of course, there's many new hotels in Osaka. So I think if you come, you can see many. Well, our kind of logo is a red band. Also, we have a character called Myaku-Myaku. And so the color would be red, blue, and white. And so we have these three colors all around Osaka City, also around the Kansai areas. We have trains covered with all that expo excitement as well. I think that Osaka also are planning many events outside the expo as well. So after the expo, you can enjoy a really nice cuisine event, a sake event as well. Of course, Osaka will be the place that will be closest to the expo, but also we are working with other like prefectures, because it's only like 1 hour by train to Kyoto, Nara, or other prefectures. We're saying that maybe we recommend, because you can enjoy Osaka as well, but maybe you could book a hotel in Kyoto, Nara, or other prefectures. And of course, it's cool because you can go in 1 hour, and so maybe you could enjoy the Japanese traditional Nara, Kyoto, or maybe Kobe, and a really nice city, and enjoy like both ways. The really packed, very exciting Osaka area, but also you can see Asian Japan as well. So maybe it's a great chance for the international visitors to experience Osaka, but also see Japan at the same time. Actually, I'm originally from Tokyo, and I've started to work with the association. So it's been like 2.5 years coming to Osaka. It's my first time in Osaka, and of course, Osaka city itself is exciting. But I can go in the weekends to Kyoto just for dinner or lunch, or going to Nara to see temples. And so we're recommending to. Of course, we are the association. Like to have everybody at the expo site, but also we'd like everybody to enjoy Japan as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something easy to
Mhm.
do in that area.
Mhm.
I travel Kansai a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I studied abroad
Mhm.
in Kyoto, went to
Oh,
Osaka
wow.
several
Mhm.
times. Like you said, it's a very easy train. You just hop on, it's an hour. And yeah, I definitely feel like it's very possible, like you said, to, enjoy Expo, but also
Mhm,
like enjoy
mhm.
the surrounding area.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually a big
Mhm.
fan of Shiga Prefecture.
Oh,
Something about Shiga Prefecture is just
wow.
really awesome. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that part. Let the tourism spread.
Yes, yes. Mhm.
And speaking of spreading the tourism out, how do you feel like the rest of Japan feels about the expo and what impact it may have for them both in tourism and economy?
Maybe when we started to prepare for that exposition, maybe in Tokyo there wasn't enough publicity comparing to the Kansai area, and maybe there was a kind of atmosphere that, oh, that's the event in Kansai area. But I think it's changing right now, because it is a really largest international event. I think the World Exhibition, like having like 158 countries. And so not just in Osaka area, but because you can travel like 2 hours in the bullet train. But Tokyo also are having like the events at the theme week, business events, but also other events. So I think this atmosphere is gradually getting excited. I've heard from other colleagues who's experienced expos. It's for 6 months, so really, when it starts, everybody is thinking, "Oh, it's 6 months, we can go anytime." But when the expo is for 6 months, usually it's really crowded in September, October, because everything, oh, the expo is closed, so it's going to be packed. So we are feeling that everybody's getting excited, but we're definitely recommending coming to the first half, so you could enjoy it. And of course, something unique about this expo is we are asking everybody to make reservations for the date. We don't want anyone to have a long queue and wait, so that's why we're doing that. So we are recommending to make reservations for the early 3 months for the expo. And actually, for the ticket itself, if you come at an earlier stage, it'll be more cheaper. And so we're like trying to control the numbers of people, because 1970 Expo, there was so many queues. 2005 Expo in Aichi, there was queues. So we're trying to make that not happen. It's challenging because you have to make reservations, which is frustrating sometimes, but we hope when they enjoy coming at the first range, like April and May, they'll say how they enjoyed the expo, and maybe they'll talk to their friends and have their social networks. even though at 2 weeks to go, we're doing promotion still because we would like to have all the excitement coming up and having most of the people coming in Japan as well, not just from Kansai area, but people from maybe from Hokkaido and Okinawa, and everybody's coming as well. Just for information, among the 28 million visitors we're expecting like 3.5 million from the international visitors. So, of course, like 90%, maybe it will be Japanese visitors. So we are still hoping to have more than 28 million people coming. So 2 weeks to go, and we're really doing the promotion still. But also we'll do the promotion even though it starts because we would like to have more and more people coming and enjoying the expo.
So we were talking about the economy and tourism, and one thing that I think could, in a way, help with the boom of the economy is having a lot of souvenirs for people to buy right when they're at the expo. One of those souvenirs you mentioned earlier is probably going to be with a picture of the mascot of the expo, Myaku-Myaku, right?
Myaku-Myaku, yes. So
Yeah, so in Japan in general, I feel like there's a lot of mascots for a lot of things like Kumamon and Pikachu and
yes.
Mario. I
Yeah.
mean, these are characters, but also just,
Mhm.
Yurikara in general. There's mascots
Yes,
everywhere.
you know
But
Yurika. Mhm.
so what is your favorite part of Myaku-Myaku? How did he come up? And, how has that character been received in Japan and around the world?
It's a shame I can't show the Myaku-Myaku character here, but actually Myaku-Myaku, it's hard to pronounce, but Myaku in Japanese means pulse. So because our theme is life, it's like it shows Myaku is like a pulse for life. And also Myaku-Myaku, when you say it twice, it means continuancy forever. So that's also the theme of the expo. The Myaku-Myaku character is very unique. The logo itself, when you see, is really red with really kind of circles, and it looks like eyes, but originally it's cells. So because of
Oh,
it's
really?
red cells, yes.
Okay, I thought they were eyes.
It looks it's as eyes, but yes. And also Myaku-Myaku has this red, really large cells around him, but also the blue part is because everybody needs water. Because to live, we need water. So that is the color and what Myaku-Myaku means. First of all, in Japan, because Myaku-Myaku is not a kind of, like if it's a characteristic like Kumamon, it's actually a bear, so everybody knows what kind of the animal it is. So everybody was thinking, oh, what kind of monster is this? It's weird. It was unpopular actually at first time.
Oh, really?
But yes, actually, because they thought, why it's not kawaii? It's weird and like, oh, it's scary. But right now, as we are doing the promotion with Myaku-Myaku, when it comes to be a character, it is more plumpy and it's like a cute. When I first took Myaku-Myaku, some of the babies were like crying because it's like large and say, wow, what is this? But right now, it's so popular among young children. When Myaku-Myaku comes, everybody's like, oh, I'd like to take a photos. And I do the promotion with Myaku-Myaku many times, and I feel like a mother of Myaku-Myaku. I think it shows, it has many kinds of meaning for like for life and everything, but also it's cute. In Japanese, we have the way of saying like kimo kawaii, so it's like weird but also cute. So kimo kawaii. So I think Myaku-Myaku has been really working hard with us. We are taking Myaku-Myaku all around the country in Japan, but also outside Japan, doing the promotion as well. My colleague Megumi-san also, she's been taking Myaku-Myaku to many, many countries. Like, first of all, they're saying, what's this? But everybody really likes Myaku-Myaku, so we are really thinking Myaku-Myaku is being a good spokesman. Well, Myaku-Myaku isn't speaking so much, but a kind of spokesperson for us. Also, it's very interesting because there are many countries that are made friends of Myaku-Myaku like a mascot. So countries are like saying, "Oh, this is a friend of Myaku-Myaku," and they're making new mascots. Like Italy, they have a Italy-chan, very cute. It's like a Japanese manga as well. So we are saying that maybe Myaku-Myaku is in a way a kind of correspondent for Japan, and also all the other characters of the international pavilions are also making this Yuru character. So we're thinking maybe we could do a contest on that. The impact of the Myaku-Myaku is very large, and I feel like a really, as I said, like a kind of a parent of Myaku-Myaku, and I really like Myaku to be at the Expo site. So if you come to the Expo site, you can see Myaku-Myaku because there's a Myaku-Myaku house. And then if you go to the Myaku-Myaku house, the Myaku-Myaku will be there. So
Oh,
I hope.
Okay.
nice. Very
Good
cute.
to know. Good to know.
Mhm.
And when I was doing some like research for coming up with
Mhm.
questions and looking into
Mhm.
the expo in general, if people are interested, you can go out there and just Googling. I think it's on your website. I think it was your website,
Yes.
but they had like the original designs and where people were voting on which one they liked better. So there was a few other like kind of like pre-decision like options that were
Mhm.
there. So it's really cool to see what the end result was, but what could have been Myaku-Myaku too. Also, if someone,
Yes.
if
Yes.
folks had
Mhm.
voted a different way. So that was cool. I didn't, and they had a whole profile and everything. It was cool to read more.
Thank you.
And previously, you discussed how for the expo itself, you're hoping that purchasing tickets beforehand and registering
Mhm.
will help decrease like the queues that
Yes.
you may
Mhm.
experience at such a large expo. And so I'm kind of wondering, with the influx of visitors coming to Japan, and we're talking about like tourism outwards, do you
Mhm.
feel that Japan is trying to ensure that the infrastructure, transportation, hospitality services, that they're all going to handle this kind of scale?
Of course, already in Japan, we have many international visitors. We're so happy about that. But
Yes.
also because of the expo, we're hoping to have more visitors. Actually, for transportation, we have a new station called Umeshima Station. We had this extend this subway train, so everybody can use the train to go to the site. Also, we have many buses that will take everybody from certain major stations or maybe airports to their site. Because of it's an island and we don't want to queue in an traffic jam, we're recommending people not to come by your own car, but leave your car at the parking lot and park and ride. And so we have many buses that you could use to come to the expo site. And so we have to work with the Osaka city and also the prefecture to have this kind of transportation. Also, we have, because it's an island, we have a boat going inside, so some of the people can use the boat to go to the expo site as well. Of course, because we don't want a traffic jam, because the site opens from 9 o'clock, the city is asking everybody to commute maybe not from like, usually it's business starts from 9 o'clock, but they recommend to change their working hours. And so that's something that also the city is trying to do to control everything. So I think we are ready to have all the international visitors coming. We're working also with hotels and talking to the concierges of the hotels so they can talk and actually recommend how to go to the expo and actually how to enjoy the expo. So I think it's something that we are all excited about, and we're starting having many visitors already wanting to come to the expo. We're having all medias lining up for the registration as well. So I think basically we are ready, and we most welcome to have as many international visitors as possible.
You're well prepared.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually traveling to Japan this summer. My wife's
Oh,
family lives
really?
in
Yeah.
Ibaraki, so we're
Hmm. Oh,
visiting.
really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was talking to her about this call, and she's like, "Oh, we should go to the expo in Osaka." And I'm like, "Okay, we got to
Mm-hmm.
figure that
Oh,
out
great, great.
because it's
Yes,
not
please
a
do.
short train ride, but we'll sort that out." But you may have 4 more people visiting Osaka than the 28
Oh,
million that
great,
you
great.
projected. So
Oh,
28
great.
million and 4.
Yeah, wow.
Before we wrap everything up, I wanted to ask too, because we did mention and we were talking about sustainable goals, but
Mm-hmm.
after the expo ends, what kind of legacy do you think and do you hope that this expo, this event will leave not only for Osaka, not only for Japan, but also just the world?
Oh, yes, thank you. As maybe I've mentioned before, we would hope that thinking about how important is to have connections with the world, meeting people, even though we're having like pandemics and also we're having right now many sad wars going on, but the importance of like getting together in real person and not just getting together and having communicate, but also thinking about the future together. So I think right now we have to think globally, and this expo we hope will be something that maybe many international and also Japanese people have met at the expo and started business or even started to do something, a new kind of project. So we hope that it will be a kind of platform for actually matchmaking the whole world together. And we also want younger generations to come. This is something maybe to the Japanese visitors. I think maybe comparing to after the 1970 Expo, everybody was excited to see the world, and so the younger people went outside, studied abroad. But I think maybe Japanese younger generations are happy, of course, because Japan is safe. You can see the world and experience the world by internet. And so everybody think, oh, I don't have to go abroad and actually experience anything. But we hope that maybe the younger generation will actually be in contact with the international pavilions. They're thinking, oh, I have to go to that country, maybe study the country and see the actual world. We hope that that will be something for the younger generation. Sorry, I'm talking too much again. Thank you
No,
so
none at
much.
all. No, I think that's especially for the younger generation,
Mhm.
this might
Mhm.
introduce them to, like you said, a country or an idea of interacting on a global stage that they may never have considered before. So I think that's really important,
Yes,
especially for the younger
exactly.
generation.
Especially to even just have the opportunity to
Mhm.
expose yourself. That's something that, not everyone has the privilege to do. So, like, having the expo there, I mean, take full advantage of it and, yeah, definitely dive in and expose yourself. And you might find
Mhm.
yourself very fascinated with an idea or a concept or a country. And, yeah, I think that's great. So, I think you're right on the mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that kind of brings us to the end of the questions we had for you. But before we wrap up, we did want to let you have an opportunity to let people know
Mhm.
where they can find more information, maybe a website or social media. Where can they find out more information about registering? Feel free. The stage is yours to let folks know where they can find some more information.
Thank you very much. The one-day tickets, when you just come in, it'll be 3,500 yen. But opening tickets and advance tickets, we only have a few weeks, but it will be cheaper, 4,000 yen. And the first half ticket will be 5,000 yen. So please check out our website. The website will be expo2025.or.jp. I hope you get that.
We got it.
Thank you.
We
Got
got
it.
it.
Thank you. And we'll definitely have it in the show notes. We'll link it so that way people can have easy access to that.
I also recommend that people will download the app called Expo Visitors app. You can see all the maps,
Okay.
like events and pavilions on this app.
Okay. What was it called? Expo.
Expo 2025 Visitors.
Got it. Do you want that to be your cameo? Your guest appearance?
We also have the Instagram, Facebook, X, English and Japanese. So the latest information.
Okay. Yeah, and we can link all of those out in our show
In the show
notes when we
notes,
release the
yes.
episode. So
Of course.
that will be all there for everyone to find. We got you covered. We got you covered.
Thank you.
Well, that was a lot of information. I definitely hope like everyone takes the opportunity to go and just experience it, because I'm sure y'all have prepared and worked so hard for a very long time for this.
Yes.
I wish y'all
I know.
luck.
Only 2 weeks, right? Until the kickoff.
Yes, yeah.
Are y'all nervous?
Yes, very nervous, but we are like working like every day, very late, and but also we're kind of in a way high because
Yeah,
every mission is coming because we're working for this for a very long time.
exactly.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Yes, it
It's like
is.
you had like a birthday coming up and you know it's coming. You're just creeping up closer to your birthday.
Yes, yes, yes.
I guess maybe, as we're getting older, maybe birthdays aren't that great, but when we're younger, it's a little bit better. All right. Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate both of you, Megumi, hiding in the background for most of the time, but giving us some awesome information about the app. Thank you so much. And of course, Yoshimura-san, thank you so
Yes,
much for sharing with
you.
us all this information about the
Yes,
expo
thank you.
and what people can
Mhm.
expect. Really informational. I think a lot of people who are traveling to Japan this year, this is something that, it's a unique opportunity for a lot of people that they won't have this experience every year if they travel to Japan next year or the year after. So This is something that's really cool, and I think an awesome chance to kind of explore the world from within Japan.
Yes, so thank you both for sharing with us and communicating with us about this. We're really glad that we're able to supply this kind of information to our listeners.
So I hope everybody is coming to the expo and we'll meet all together at Osaka.
Yeah, see you there.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on this special Expo 2025 edition of Krewe Japan. Thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in today. But a huge arigatou gozaimasu to our incredible guest, Sachiko Yoshimura, the Director General Extraordinary of Public Relations and Promotion Bureau of Japan Association for the 2025 World Exposition. Phew! For sharing such a fascinating look behind the scenes of this world-class event. You can really tell how much went into it. You could feel it when she was talking. But also, I wanted to give a shout out to Megumi Nakai of the Public Relations and Promotion Bureau Global Media team for helping coordinate today's chat. We wouldn't have been able to do this without her help. From the monumental preparations taking place in Osaka to Japan's proud legacy of World Expos, and of course, the quirky charm of Myaku-Myaku, today's episode was just a taste of what makes Expo 2025 something the world won't want to miss. Whether you're planning to attend in person, or maybe just following along from afar on social media, or listening to this podcast, this expo promises to be a celebration of innovation, culture, and global connection like never before. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our past episodes, just make sure you don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, and or review. Hopefully all of them, right? Every single one of those ratings and reviews helps others discover Krewe of Japan and become part of our global crew. And this is a global episode, right? Or, maybe just tell a friend. That works for us. Any and all support is incredibly appreciated. Are you planning on going to Expo 2025? Or maybe you have some experiences you'd like to share. Share with us on social media. You can find us on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X. Just search Krewe of Japan Podcast to stay in the loop on future episodes, upcoming Japan Society New Orleans events, and other Japan-related content. That's KREWEOFJAPAN. Or maybe you want to reach out directly. Send us an email at kreweofjapanpodcast@gmail.com. We'd really love to hear from you. But that's it for today. Until next time. Looking to start your own podcast and don't know what platform to use? Tell me about it. When we started the Krewe of Japan podcast, we tried a bunch of the big name recording platforms, but always came back to the one we're still currently using to this day, Zencastr. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. In addition to its high audio and video quality for podcast production, Zencastr provides a full suite of production tools to record, produce, and publish studio quality content from the comfort of your home. Just log in through your browser and start recording. It's that simple. For us, we simply send out links to our guests and they join the lobby. But before you know it, it's all done and you have your studio quality audio and up to 4K video right there ready for you, right when you finish. The best part is having their multi-layered backups to ensure that your recordings are in the highest quality, regardless of anyone's internet connection stability. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcasts in one place and distribute to all the major destinations. It's really that easy. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code Krewe of Japan, KREWEOFJAPAN, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experiences we do for all of our podcasting and content needs. It's your time to share your story.